Welcome to the first episode of Goty Reviews. In this series, we discuss all the games that won a Game of the Year award from different award events. Medievil 2 is the game we will talk about today. This action-adventure game, released in 2000 by Sony Computer Entertainment, that it was exclusive to the PS2. It was a sequel to the original Medievil in 1998. This sequel won Console Game of the Year by the BAFTA Games Award, and in this video we will discuss why this game won and if the game still holds to these days, and give a final rating or score. Let's talk about the game. In this game, you play as the hero of Galumir, of the first game of the series Medieval, Sir Daniel Fortesque, that is resurrected by accident in a spell cast by a mysterious villain who transforms people into zombies and revive the undead and have plans to rule the world. And guess who need to stop? You, of course. The game follows the same premise from the first one, being revived by accident. I played the first one a little bit, just to compare and see the improvements from the first game to the second one. Gameplay. Let's talk about the gameplay. Combat wise, we have light attacks and charge attacks. A positive one is the attacks can be used in movement. About weapons, you can have two weapons in your hand, swapping between them. That's an improvement for the first game, that you could only hold one weapon at a time. For defense, we have shields, debatable shields, that can be replenished by talking to the Spiff. You also can get ammo, talking to him, for a price of course. Spiff is a merchant who provides service to you, replenishing our stuff like shields and magic from weapons. This game has several weapons to choose from, and as you progress, the game unlocks better weapons by trading chalices to the professor, and some weapons work best with a type of enemy. I really like the variety of weapons we had, like the pistol, the axe or the hammer. Other mechanics in the game, we can jump, block, dash, jump combined. For me, the dash was definitely the best mechanic, saved me so many times. A negative part of the game that isn't really a negative one, but a little bit annoying, is aiming at the enemies, especially the flying ones off screen. Pissed me off sometimes. It was a bit outdated because to be able to shoot at them, you need them to be in frame, and this made the combat a little bit clunky and awkward at times, still not game breaking. The game isn't too difficult except some parts that they really want you to struggle, but after you lose and learn the patterns, it becomes a breeze. Story wise, I don't want to give major spoilers. The story is pretty straightforward, with the help of the Professor Elmiton and his ghostly sidekick Winston. We need to investigate who started the accident. Later in the story, we also resurrect a mummy named Kia that I think is an important antagonist to Dan motivation sometime in the history. And after various events, we confront who did the incident. As you advance the story, we have cool stuff by completing each level. Some levels we have puzzles, minigames like Whack-a-Himp, a version of a Whack-a-Mole. Also we have boss fights like the Slugger, a boxing fight that you can lose your limbs. The Count, a vampire that you need to learn the mechanics in the prior stage to be able to defeat him. Jack the Ripper, a fight happens in the past. And the final boss, Lord Peloton, who summons a huge demon to you to fight. These are the most memorable moments for me in this game that I can think of. About the art style and soundtrack, I really like the art style of the game. We have dark horror Halloween vibes in this game, set in an inspired old London with over-the-top funny characters. The soundtrack matches the spooky goth aesthetic art of the game, with funny sound effects in several enemies, and with a pretty good voice acting. My final thoughts: the game is pretty good and fun, isn't too long for gamers standards in the present days, with around 8 hours or more. After beating the game, you still can return to any stage if you miss something, or if you're doing trophies. It's a fun game to play. It brings a little bit of a challenge that many modern games lack. I think the game still holds to these days as entertaining, since these games are best games, it makes sense to the scores being high. The score rating I will use is letters, since I think the score numbers sometimes are unfair. The letters I'm using are between S and A, S being perfect and A being super good. Maybe also we can use some variations, minus or plus variations of A. For this game, I give an A. With that being said, taste is subjective, so what score are you guys giving? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.